Welcome back. There we go. Okay, folks, welcome back. We're official now. We want to hear from the moderators. We just have a little bit more to hear back from our moderators. Just some 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 little quick bullet points into what was shared. We close that off, and then we just have a little celebratory short video. It's very short. Goodbye and well, I won't say too much. A little shorty. So let's go. So let's just make it easy. Room 1.
Good evening again, everyone. We did spend a bit of a time on the membership question. We talked about, in our group, there were only 2 persons that were not members. One of them indicated that they'd never actually been asked to be a member. Wow. And so they hadn't become a member. And the other one changed fields for a bit. And so the CWWA fell off, but they're now intrigued. So I guess engaging persons, even though they have not been active, can have some sort of impetus on whether they become a member or not. What are some of the offerings that might entice them is the educational background. One of our members of the group said that they're intrigued by the conference, and it's nice to have all the information as provided. But one of the things they've observed is we have a lot of people coming into the region to present, as opposed to a lot more or outnumbering of local studies, teaching others outside the region, of techniques and so that can be applied here and that are more well suited for our region. There was mention of the academy, and that this knowledge should be shared, not just within the region, but also to teach others of how some technologies can be applied to us and how beneficial they would be to us. We talked a little bit about what the additional revenue streams can be, and one member mentioned that we can have sponsorship for a year rather than just an event. We also talked a little bit about having grants for special workshops and pursuing collaborations, for example, with CARICOM, which was mentioned earlier in the evening, I believe. We did touch a bit on the community level, and this was reiterated a couple of times, that the national sections need to play a pertinent role in hitting the community level, because they're the ones on the ground. And so a bit of pressure should be applied or will be applied by the national sections to get to the community level. And the other one we talked about with respect to key topics, the members believe that we currently cover a wide range of topics, and because of our time frame, we couldn't think of anything specific that is absolutely critical at this point. All right, and I think that covers some of the points we were able to discuss.
Thank you, Angela. All right. Clearly, you did a great job in that room. Well done. All right. Let's go to room 2.
Well done, Angela. We didn't do nearly as well. We had, of our group, only one person was not a member, and this person would love to be a member, but somehow is having a big challenge joining. And as such, well, I will make a case for that person. Right. So, but everybody else is happy to be a member, likes the offerings of memberships, would like it to be more frequent, the offerings of membership. The additional revenue streams are typical, the addition of training and development, creating a program like a university catalog that we could have, and that what's going to happen when, and that you can plan for this training in 2 years and another one this year. So that's what would be desired for revenue stream, technical training and development in a catalog sort of way. Addition, the certification for specific jobs, standard operating procedure development for disasters, for operation, of treatment plants, of waste management, of everything that we've done before, somewhere else on another island. We need to create them. Okay, and the fact that a lot of non-member state actors get jobs within our region, and we would like CWWA to help implement projects that are in multiple states somehow as part of the revenue stream. For community, it was, we need to engage more regularly, not just at conference time. We need to update everybody on the achievements in a particular island, in a particular territory. And I think, well, we need more engagement, and there are more opportunities now with social media, so we just need to find a way how. For youth, we need to use climate change as a driver to get everyone involved, or as involved in some sort of a local project, so they can feel empowered. And there ended our session. So we didn't complete youth, but youth and climate change was where we ended. So, and we ran out of time. 50 more minutes would have been nice.
Yes, these things, they start a little slowly, and then they pick up speed, and then you whisk back to the main room. And that's just how it goes. But at least the dialogue has started. Thank you, Lisa. You discussed a lot there. Very good. Group 3.
Hello and good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and happy anniversary. Good. So group 3, we would have discussed a little bit of all 5 topics. In terms of membership, all persons within the group were actually members of CWWA. And in terms of leveraging new membership, particularly from the youth, right? One of the things that was suggested is that we need to be able to bring real world examples and opportunities. So say students and that type of thing, so that they can actually see and, you know, become attracted to the sector. And then, you know, by that, we will be able to boost our membership. In terms of topics, in terms of key topics that we should actually be discussing more of, we would have looked at things like water resources management, you know, the entire background, the science behind, you know, water and understanding it and being able to actually leverage a better understanding in terms of being able to move forward. So water resources management, water and the ecosystems, well construction and technology, being able to see a lot more case studies within the region, right? Water and technology, all those are things that were discussed. Community, it was mentioned that, you know, we have a lot of experience with regards to disaster management and protection and that type of thing. And that is the type of resource that we can actually give to our communities. With regards to youth and youth engagement, definitely this is something that we should invest in. And in terms of attracting new graduates and, you know, just having options with regards to for things like mentorship, and leveraging a number of other different activities in order to bring them into the sector, right? We need to also invest in things that will create passion within them to actually work within the sector. So definitely we should invest in youth, right? And in terms of training and development, definitely they would have looked at, you know, us actually investing in a CWWA academy. Definitely, well, we were looking at the fact that, you know, the session was so short. We would have discussed a number of different things, but the session was so short. And in order to be able to flesh out a number of these topics, one of the key things that we could do is, you know, do like a strategic planning session, you know, or even like, well, one of the persons was actually a member of the Geological Society. So what he would have suggested is that we can actually look at additional things like field trips and to keep the discussion going, and then we can move forward from there. But all the resources that we actually do have from our membership and other experts within our fields, we definitely need to be able to leverage in order to create our CWWA Academy. In terms of leveraging new finances, the topic was raised in terms of seeking endorsement on various products. So that was the contribution from Group 3.
Very good. I'm just making a note, seeking endorsement. That's a new one. Okay, great. Thank you, Marissa. I will skip around a little bit. I'm going to ask group 6. Lakeisha, is that Lakeisha's group?
That is Lakeisha's group. Good evening, everyone. First of all, the session, just like you predicted, it snowballed and turned into something fabulous. So we even got cut off. So I just want to just publicly say to my group members, thank you so much for your participation. You were wonderful. And so just a couple of the things briefly that we answered. In our group, there were about 3 persons that either were not members or did not indicate. And interestingly enough, one of the persons that did answer said that they thought CWWA was for engineers only. That's why they never joined, even though they've attended conferences. So that's
Wow.
interesting.
Okay.
Yep. And some of the offerings that might have enticed people to become members are training. Training definitely came out of that. Additional revenue streams that CWWA can invest in. A skills bank was mentioned, consultancy work, whereby the association can charge a finder's fee. That came out of the group session. With regard to key topics, what are some of the key topics in water and waste that CWWA can place special emphasis and resources on? Waste, definitely liquid waste, NRW, WRM, and water security. What are some of the ways that CWWA can have more of a presence at a community level? And of course, this tied into incorporating, positioning itself where the youth is concerned is definitely a presence in the community, especially with regarding senior schools with career day, etc., mentorship, as well as a call for the national sectors to have a presence. And that really would help to amp up the presence at the community level. And finally, with respect to training and development, some areas that are critical to require some areas that are critical that require training in the water and wastewater sector. There's an urgent need for training in solid waste and wastewater, especially among private operators, to get everyone operating up to standard. So that was the main point coming out of that. And that ends Group 6's contribution.
Awesome. Awesome indeed.
Thank you, Lakeisha.
Thank
Glad
you,
to
and
see.
thank you, Group 6.
Yeah, glad to see your face from the voice now. I've only been hearing voice before. Wonderful. For group 5, there's a lot of overlap. So I'll cherry pick some of the stuff that we talked about here. One of the items that I thought was interesting was news from around the region. You know, the suggestion was to have a newsletter where we could get news from around the region. Well, we do have a newsletter, and we do carry a magazine. But I thought the point that was being made was that they wanted to know what other utilities were doing in the region. So we would get information as it comes to us. But what this spoke to me at is that we should pursue information and not just hope that the utility will send it to us, because in the beginning, you'll have to encourage that dialogue. You know, we have a reasonably good dialogue with Trinidad because I used to work there and I know the guy. So he knows to send me stuff when things are happening, but we need to develop that regionally. So I thought that was a great suggestion. We focus a bit on the youth, and they talked about the local chapters, which would be the national sections. Like I hinted at before, the national sections need to do some more work than they're doing. And because the youth in your country is the youth in your country. You know, another country cannot motivate the youth in your country. So part of that is to have some of that going on in the country, and then it can tie into what's going on regionally. Because you can have a regional event, but it's a regional event made up of national interventions. And one of the suggestions was, I thought it was very simple. I wrote it in capital letters: give them something to do. Give them something to do. Make them feel special. The experience in other areas where They actually got youth and young adults to participate and do things for free, like do translation of some documents into different languages. It's something that it's a win-win, where you would get that work done for you, and they will have something they can now put on their resume. So it is they have the normal things like having events targeting young people, looking at the universities, community colleges, even high schools. I remember I went to my high school to spoke a few years ago as an environmental engineer, because some of the folks, they didn't even know what that was. And they have environmental classes now, but they were kind of worried that it was one of those things that if you did that, you'd end up in no man's land with no job, because who hires environmental people? And they figured, well, it might be the water company. But I told them that almost every major company, especially abroad and some locally, have environmental people. So they don't know, so they can't go forward boldly with saying, I'm going to do this. It's a little different track than normal. So getting them early so that they can make early decisions, because by the time they're in fifth form and sixth form, they may have already chosen to go business wise or some other way that makes it difficult to then come back and do something like environmental engineering in university. If without maths, physics, chemistry, add maths, it can be done, but it'll just end up taking longer. Training, benchmarking, utilities coming together more frequently. I put a star next to that one as well. We try to do some things, but in terms of how you guys coin the statements and the phrases, I'm understanding, in terms of utilities coming together more frequently. There are ways of doing that. And so we're going to look at those different kind of ways. Another big one is to have a good communication plan, especially utilities nationally. But CWWA can help with that, where you can go into communities, and that's national sections again. You go into the communities, you visit plants. Community awareness, as the person who shared said, don't only come and talk to me when you want to raise the rates. Talk to me along the way. So at least I know what's going on. One of the great suggestions is field trips. Do a field trip. I used to host them when, to the university students, and everybody's fascinated by going to a wastewater treatment plant or water plant. You don't know what it looks like. You just see water coming in the tap. You don't know what has happened. So as the folks know, this is not new news, that knowledge of everything that goes into producing that water that comes out your tap. When they say we need to charge more, you understand why. You're a little bit better understanding. And of course, leaks and everything else that's involved in that. Looking at a university, no, that was lease. So I'll just stop there in terms of the some of the items and key topics we talked about. What after this, what we would, based on this, Anurada sent me a little WhatsApp here. It's like, hey, we need to continue this. We need to continue this type of dialogue. So I think there's the president, some really great contributions from the brainstorming sessions. Thank you, Madam President. They're pretty good, and they're not outside of what we're thinking of doing. So it'll help turbocharge some of the ideas that we have, and especially in how we will involve and engage. Because remember, it's not only about membership, it's about engaged membership. So I'm really I'm enthusiastic about that, and I'd love less presentations and more of these discussions. Yeah, I hear you. And so these are the things that might be a quick chat comment in a chat box, but that's an important comment, because that's engaging. It's not talking to, it's engaging, listening to, and wanting to get feedback. So you'll see a difference for sure. I mean that. So I'd like to close off a couple of reminders. Before you all go, we do have a short celebratory video that we save for the end. It's not long at all, that we'd like you to see and celebrate with us. Just visit the exhibitor booths and engage with the companies. There's a lot of great products out there and services. And some of these companies, they're paying to exhibit in our conference. So just visit them and see what they have to offer. And don't forget, we have our AGM, Annual General Meeting for members on Thursday afternoon. And it's not too late to join or pay your dues. Either way, either join for the first time or pay your dues. You can do so on the website. Just go to www.cwwa.net and everything is on there for you to do. And also, for those that have been around a while and maybe even some new people, part of the annual general meeting are the elections. We have some vacant positions this year that need to be filled, and we want them to be filled with some quality people. So please consider running for one of the positions. Also, for those that know people that want to run, the nomination forms have been mailed out. They have been emailed out. If you need nomination forms, we can get them to you. So the idea is to just talk to people, get some folks nominated. We're looking for quality people that have time. It's important for folks that serve on the council at time, to have the time to be able to contribute. Because as I said before, it's a non-governmental, it's an NGO. In an NGO, everybody works. So I'm just exhorting that. So if there's nothing else at this time, let us just end with our video. I want to thank everybody for staying on. We still have 46 participants. It's very good. See you guys throughout the conference. Continue to enjoy the technical presentations. Pay your membership dues and come and vote and nominate folks and run for positions in our AGM. And then the closing ceremony. And for some of you guys, I want to see you in the high level forum next week and the week after. So have a good evening. And here's our closing video. Happy 30th, everybody. Have a good evening.
We see that. Happy 30th.
Happy 30th. Everybody, happy 30th.
Happy 30th.
Good
show. Good show.
And I hope you come and learn more about SOPs and disasters and training tomorrow morning, 9, very first thing. Hi, Ton, you'll be there.
10 o'clock.
Yeah, 10 o'clock in the Caribbean. So join us there to learn more.
Happy anniversary all. Hey, Anna.
Good to see you all.
Yes. Ton, good to see you.
See you in Honduras.
All right, Tomas. Hasta mañana.
Hasta mañana.